Peace, peace, everyone. Welcome back to the Alchemist podcast. I'm your host, Siquoyia Blue. This is a podcast where we challenge your perspective. Now, today's episode is a bit personal, but I feel like it needs to be shared, especially in the times we're living in, when conversations can quickly turn into confrontations, and you're left wondering if some connections were ever really aligned in the first place. So let me tell you what happened. There's someone I used to work with in tech. We weren't just coworkers. We actually became friends while working together. Over time, we kept in touch, mostly talking about tech stuff and industry trends, sharing what we were dealing with in our respective spaces, and up until recently, it was all good. We spoke on the phone the other day, just catching up. The convo started out great, talking about tech and life, the usual. But then, it shifted. Out of nowhere, he brings up politics. And now I've always known we didn't see eye to eye in that department. I mean, I knew me and him we had our differences, but that was never a problem for me. I genuinely respect different perspectives. I don't need everyone around me to think exactly like I do, because that's not real life. But what happened next really caught me off guard. He started raising his voice, speaking with a tone that felt more like a lecture than a conversation. And it got intense, fast. I calmly expressed my views and told him that just because someone doesn't agree with what's happening politically doesn't mean they're closed-minded. I said, look, there are real systems and processes and procedures that need to be in place to deal with things like immigration, healthcare, and the economy. This isn't about being for or against anyone. It's about being realistic. He didn't agree, and that's fine. But the conversation basically went nowhere. There was no mutual respect, just this need to win the argument. And here's where it got worse. After the call, he started texting my phone and sending me all these images and articles and screenshots trying to back up his point, like back-to-back messages, as if he was trying to continue the argument through my phone after the conversation had already ended. At that point, I had to draw the line, because it was no longer about dialogue. It became an invasion of peace. And during these times, we don't need any extra drama or any extra vibes to make things worse at this time, because so much going on in the news and stuff. Nobody got time for that. So I made the decision to block him. Yeah, I blocked him. And I won't lie, that wasn't easy. This wasn't just some guy from work. He had been a friend. But I've learned that some people are only meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. And that's okay. The whole experience was a reminder, a litmus test for what friendship should look like. A real friend doesn't try to silence your beliefs. A real friend doesn't make you feel bad for thinking differently. A real friend respects boundaries, even in disagreement. So for anyone listening right now who might be going through something similar, whether it's politics, religion, or just values clashing, I want you to hear this. You don't owe anyone continued access to you just because you share history. Protect your peace, honor your voice, and let go of anyone who makes your world feel heavier than it needs to be. Because not everyone is meant to go with you in your next chapter. And that's not a loss. That's just growth. But it makes sense why people hang out with people that's similar to them and, stuff like that. Even though in this situation, we had way more similarities than not. Like, we both are trying to work our way up in tech and learning things. He was a very smart guy in tech, and a lot of things we had in common to discuss, because wasn't a lot of people talk to about tech stuff. Not a lot of people in my circle are in tech, so he was one of the main people. So it just definitely hurts. But I think that, like I said, some people are just not meant to be in your life forever, and that's okay. So until next time, everyone, stay safe out there and stay curious. Keep your head up during these times. All right. Peace.